Why is it interesting for us as professionals to involve peers in our
Yeah.
work?
The project that I'm hearing you talk about, it seems to me that those parents, those families of the person, to meet another parent who can describe that same struggle in words which instantly convey that they understand is just so different from hearing a professional talking about it from the perspective of, yes, of course, we will manage to do this and we'll manage to do that, rather than somebody who goes, it's just horrendous because you can't trust anyone because it's your precious child. It's horrendous because they're not there when they're at their worst. And so my daughter always puts on her best show when the
Mm,
professionals come around,
mm,
So
mm,
it's something around hearing the voice of somebody who literally puts into words your own experience, and you just think, oh, you do understand. Yes,
mm,
this is where the
mm.
help starts. um Now, in this context, we have carer peer support workers. We have parents of people with schizophrenia, for example, supporting the families of somebody with schizophrenia. And it is totally amazing what happens. They manage to help people shortcut that hugely lengthy process,
Mhm.
because they can say, oh, if you just keep on knocking at all these different doors and nobody gives you an answer.
Mm,
But what we found was that
mm,
if we did
mm,
this, this, and this, it
mhm,
really worked.
mhm.
So actually, it's much more powerful when it comes from somebody who's had the frustration and knows what that's like.
The next question is about how to give the right support to the peers.
So if you're starting with volunteers, then the most important thing is that they understand about using that experiential knowledge, and they
Mm,
know how to keep themselves safe. And really importantly, that they're telling their own story, what they disclose, how they disclose it, staying safe in that is going to be really important for these. So in our volunteer training, we use circles of support, circles of disclosure, circles of safety. So we get them to think about before you go into the post, it's really important they don't go and blurt out everything about themselves to everybody and leave themselves in a very dangerous situation. But the other thing is, it'll scare off people if they start to say,
mm,
"Oh my goodness, this
yeah,
happened to me and that happened to me."
yeah.
So so the training needs to concentrate on helping them to work through their kind of circles of safety. So what is the stuff in their life that they don't tell anybody, or only their very close people? What's the stuff they only tell family and close friends? What's the stuff that they might tell colleagues, and what's
Mm,
the stuff they might talk about in
yeah,
practice?
yeah.
And really getting them to think hard about that and why they're doing it, so they're keeping themselves safe and the people they support safe. But the most important thing, so they've got that, they need to understand recovery,
Mm,
really understand recovery and their own wellness, and
mhm,
then they need to know what their role is.
mhm. Understand recovery in their own wellness. Can you?
Yeah, well, the thing is that you, being a peer, having had a similar experience, doesn't make you a peer worker. Actually, being somebody who is in recovery is
Mm,
what makes you a good peer worker, isn't
right, right.
it?
Okay, okay.
So you need to not see yourself as defeated by your illness and
Right,
all the rest of it. You need to actually have some hope and belief in your own possibility. You need to be on the move so you can inspire other people to
right.
see the possibilities for themselves. But actually to be able to give that words. So before anybody even comes onto our recovery training, we stipulate that they have their own personal recovery plan, their own RAP plan, so they know about how to keep themselves well.
Right,
They know how
right,
to recognize triggers, early warning signs. They know what
right,
their goals are. They know where they're going with their life.
right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, yeah, I understand. And then the concept of knowing one's role as a peer. Can you unwrap
Yeah,
that a bit?
yeah. Well, it's the most common reason for peer support to fail
Hmm.
is that the team and the peer worker aren't clear about the role. And it's very, very common. However much preparation you do with the team, you will find that the peer goes into the team and really hasn't got a clue what they're supposed to do, and so they do what the other team members do. And actually, that team needs to be very clear about what is the role of the peer. So do they go along with the social worker in the first instance, get to know the family, and then continue to work with them? Or when a family's first referred, is the first point of contact the peer? Do they go out and see them and talk to them about what the different possibilities are and how they found it? Or do social workers begin to work with families and go, they're really defeated by this, you know, they're finding this so hard, I'd really appreciate a peer to go in and start to talk to them about it.
Right.
So, you know, you could work in either way, but the important thing is that they're not just hanging around doing the same as the professionals or just adding a few words, working always as just a partner with the professionals. They end up just being socialized into exactly the same model and role.
I gather, yeah. The relationship between families and councillors within the municipality is often tense, and could be difficult. It could be difficult for both parts to bring themselves in a listening position, in a co-creative position. Do you have any piece of advice on how to work with that?
It's really interesting, isn't it? Because it seems to me that introducing peer workers, it's a shame they're only volunteers because it doesn't give them the status or the power or the value that they need. And that is a risk. I mean, if you were doing your risk analysis for this project, that is a big risk.
Right.
Because your stroppy counsellors who are very stuck in their professional role and in knowing the answers could well not value these people. I think when you're actually employing them in a paid post, you kind of really do put them out there and say, we trust and believe these people, and we think they're worth it. But I think as volunteers, they can still be pushed around a bit. It doesn't value them really, does it? It's not an empowering position to be in, a volunteer. But anyway, good luck with it. And if you want any information, just get in touch.
Thank you so much for your time, Julie. It was really nice to speak to you.
Well, I hope we have another conversation. All right. Have a nice, stay safe and see
you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.